and I'm excited about this because um, I have not done reels in the past. I have not done um, slideshows or anything like that in the past. So I'm interested in learning more about that, and I'm sure that our audience is also interested in learning more about that. Why don't you start out by giving us a brief history of yourself and why you started AuthorScale?
Sure. So about myself, I've been in publishing since 2016 when I joined a startup as one of the earliest employees in the publishing space, which to date has become one of the largest reading apps, actually. And during my journey, I've learned tons, probably everything there is to learn in publishing, like who the major players are, how it is to work with authors, how to acquire readers, more from the publisher perspective. And in the last few years from my time at the reading app, I was focusing on running collaboration campaigns with indie authors. And also during even before, the big publishers, when they want to know what's kind of trendy, what are the latest marketing hacks in publishing to promote books, they always look at the indie authors, because those are the people that, they not only do they do their own writing, but also do they do their own marketing, their own cover design, their own everything. Like they're kind of in every single aspect of their business. They are the owners and the ones who drive the campaigns and initiatives forward. And obviously, if you have so much skin in the game, you probably come up with the best and most creative marketing campaigns. Now, in 2020 or even before, there was a phenomenon born called BookTok, right? Which is basically the readers and authors corner on TikTok. And even before, there was, when there was YouTube and people started kind of reviewing books on YouTube, they started calling it BookTube, right? And then on Instagram, they started calling it Bookstagram. So it has always been around the niche, in a global sense, the niche of book promotion on those platforms has always been there, right? Since the rise of social media, and since it basically enabled authors to not go via gatekeepers like the agents and the publishers. They can just start building a following themselves, right? It started even before with newsletters, but with social media, there was kind of a new rise of a new magnitude of being in touch with your own readership and managing your own distribution, so to speak. Now, what BookTok or TikTok did is just amplify it, because the algorithm is designed, especially in the beginnings of BookTok, was designed in a way where you could easily go viral, right? And then also authors who are, for at least in my experience, all the people I dealt with, mostly shy people, not the most extrovert people that go out and speak in front of the camera. And when you said, okay, let's do a TikTok account, people were automatically thinking of dancing videos and stuff like that, right? Where you have to be a super extrovert. But some smart authors figured out how to utilize the platform without showing their face and still go viral, right? And that was basically the concept of the slideshows, where they would pitch a scene of the book that is super catchy, that is super relatable to readers, that is trope heavy, that plays with tropes that readers are interested in. And I mean, especially in the romance genre, but it applies to any given genre. And then they would summarize those in a few sentences that are basically text that pop up after each other. Either you slide it or it's on a video. You don't need to show your face, like it's completely incognito. And you can do that. That's lo-fi production. You don't need to hire a camera team. You can do that like 3 times a day easily, right? I mean, I say easily now because we have built a tool that makes it super easy, but it was actually super hard. Like, it sounds easy, but authors started doing that and earning, like substantial amount of royalties through that marketing channel, right? This is a marketing initiative, like running ads, like doing your newsletter, organic marketing. I would categorize it under. And yeah, so even when I was working at the reading app, we looked at those people, at those authors, and we copied it for ourselves. So we were building street teams that were running, 50, 60, 70 accounts, just churning out content for the books that we published and bringing in six figures revenues just with those organic initiatives. Now, the beauty of that also is that if you post 3 times a day and you see from time to time some of those posts go viral, you can take those viral posts and then run ads with it, right? So when previously you had to kind of brainstorm ad campaigns, and especially in big corporations, the publishers, okay, expensive collaborations with book talkers, etc. Like you would just take one of those posts that went viral, it had already some social proof, you put marketing money behind it, and it has great CTRs and conversion rates, and will bring masses of readers even more, right? So it is not so much where you have like organic campaigns and paid campaigns. It's kind of more blended nowadays. But what we're focusing on is especially the organic part. And I mean, it sounds easy to do kind of these texts 3 times a day, but probably a lot of people, when I said posting 3 times a day, said or thought, I'm not going to do that, right? And they're right, because they're authors. They're not supposed to be full-time marketers, right? One of the things that you learn as indie author is that you start doing everything yourself. You start utilizing Canva, you start editing your own videos, maybe with CapCut, and like you do everything a little bit. But then eventually you realize, hey, I'm an author. I actually want to write great stories. And that's my craft. That's what I want to do. I'm a world builder. And then they rely on other services to help them with, right? And yeah, we have built a tool where authors can upload their manuscripts, and our system identifies, it scans the entire book and identifies the scenes that are most suited for marketing, and turns those scenes into unlimited amount of posts, right? So just with a click of a button. So there is really no excuse.
Amazing. So when you say it turns it into posts, are you talking about ready-made or just post ideas?
No, they're so basically they're ready-made posts, right? So the slideshow concept in its very basic, it's a very basic format is an image, text on top of it, and that 5 times if it's a 5 slide slideshow, right? And it starts with an opening line, which is designed to spark curiosity and make people stop scrolling and invest more time into this actual post and slide over and read what's happening in the scene in a catchy way. And then, yeah, it's basically just narrating a scene from your book in a catchy way, which should make the reader want to learn more about your book and add it to their TBR, right? So our system is designed in a way where you can, within minutes, create finished posts. You can even connect your TikTok accounts, load them to your TikTok account, even publish them. But what we recommend is still like kind of publish them manually, because you can add sounds and do some manual adjustments. And it is important on those platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Pinterest, to, I mean, especially TikTok and Instagram, it's important to also have engagement, right? To follow relevant accounts, to train the algorithm in a way to serve you relevant content. So that is also a piece of the medal, but it's just a fraction of the time that it would take you a year ago to run slideshows.
And I talked to a woman, a couple of weeks ago, and she said that she used to do a lot of slideshows. I don't know if she was talking about Instagram or TikTok. And she said she quit doing it just because of how time intensive it was.
That is
So,
correct. Not
so
only, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was going to say with AuthorScale, basically it does what she was spending hours and hours doing, and it just does it very quickly.
Exactly. Not only did people stop doing it, like your reference, but also people burned out. Like they actually burned out doing it, and they had to take a break. And they were like it's a real issue. Like it's not, they burned out because it's so tedious doing it over and over again, especially if it works. Like if it works, you're ambitious, you're gonna start a second account, a third account. All of a sudden you find yourself running 20 accounts and having to post 20 times 360 posts a day without any system that allows you to streamline your process. Maybe you outsource to a PA, but then you recognize, then you realize she's not doing it as good as you would do it yourself. So it is just a lot of pressure and stress, right? Because then you also still have writing deadlines. And so I can definitely empathize with what you said, like that she stopped doing it because it was time consuming. And yeah, not only that, people also burned out. So it's a real issue.
Yeah, I can well imagine. I mean, I try and figure out how am I going to take care of one Facebook account, one Instagram account, let alone adding a TikTok account, adding multiple of each of those. It's mind-boggling. So with AuthorScale, basically we upload whatever novel we have. So if we have 10 novels, we can upload 10 novels, and it
Exactly.
will take those key scenes that it recognizes as being marketable scenes and make numerous slideshows, and then we can just kind of pick and choose which ones we want to do. And I believe on all of these platforms they can be scheduled in advance, so that you're spending like a day doing this, scheduling everything out for like the month or whatever. Is that the idea?
Yes. However, we are we support scheduling, but as I said before, if you just take, like 1 day, or let's say you take 3 full-time days and you schedule out the entire month, it's probably not the winning strategy, because you need to be, TikTok needs to know that you're active on the account. You need to spend maybe 10 minutes a day to build just some human, as you would be using TikTok. TikTok rewards you, and all of those social media platforms, they reward you if you're a loyal user, right? And you do think about, how can I at least pretend to be a loyal user and be there, throw some emojis, like a few posts, and just cheer people up in the comments. And it's not, if TikTok recognizes any sort of automated robotic behavior, they will ban you, shadow ban you, or just, yeah, take your account down. So you have to do it in a smart way. That's why, even though we support automated scheduling, we recommend people to post them manually. So you can load all of those posts that you create with the platform on AuthorScale. You can load them to TikTok. But then what you will still need to do is, you go to TikTok, you will find your post ready there, and you will add a sound. That is not possible with scheduling, for instance. That is just a limitation by TikTok. So, and as many people know, sounds on TikTok are kind of a big deal, like especially if you pick a viral sound, or an underrated sound that is about to go viral, that also helps the post go viral. And then, but it's I mean, the only thing you need to do is like remind yourself once a day to go and post, right? Or 2 or 3 times a day, depending on how much you want to scale, right? And that also you can outsource. That you can outsource to a PA, because I think the time consuming part of it is also coming up with endless hooks and refurbishing those hooks, especially authors who are somewhat perfectionists about their books, right? With marketing, you don't like there's no point in being a perfectionist. Slideshow strategy is about quantity. So rather churn out 3 good posts a day than one seemingly perfect post for you, right? And if you ask authors who have been going viral over and over again, if they knew upfront what kind of post would go viral, they would tell you, no idea. Like, just randomly, I put this together on the toilet and it went viral, right? So these kinds of stories, and they wouldn't. So you cannot tell. Nobody knows how to basically guarantee virality, but you need to orchestrate it, right? And just churn out enough content.
So be there, show up, chunk, chunk, chunk.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And I would think that starting with one account is the way to go. So,
Yeah.
don't get overly ambitious and open up 3 or 4 Zoom accounts and say, not Zoom accounts, excuse me, TikTok accounts, say, I'm going to be doing it on all of them. Just pick one, be consistent, and
Exactly.
consistency leads, I think, to growth.
Yeah. And I mean, I know authors who are running 20 accounts now with the tool, and they kind of it's the winning strategy for them. But there's also authors that only have one account, right? One famous example is Katharina Mora, who
Mhm.
has been has had a number one book on Amazon, entire Kindle store, and she only has one account, and she does a great job. So yeah, I mean, she's the living example that you can do it with one account also. You don't need to have 20 accounts.
Okay, so you can start with one if you feel like expanding, then expand, but don't feel like you have to just jump in with both
No,
feet that way.
not at all. Just rather make it work with one account, learn the in and outs, go viral, like get some viral posts, then decide whether you want to do it over again with a second or third account, or yeah, or find somebody to help you with. But AuthorScale will like streamline a lot of that.
Okay, so just give me an example for one romance novel that gets uploaded. Let's say that AuthorScale identifies 5 scenes that are marketable. On average, how many slideshows would that produce? Am I asking a
Unlimited.
valid question?
Yeah. You are, but it's unlimited. It's unlimited. So, I mean, why do I say unlimited? Because there's infinite ways to tell a story. And even if it's the same scene, you can refurbish it, you can reword it, you can do it from a different POV. There's like that is where the system is so powerful when human beings are like, okay, like now, like because authors tend to they want to be original. That is good. That's why they do original works. But in marketing, you don't need to be original all the time. So you take a hook, if it works well, refurbish it, recycle until it's not working again. So yeah, there's really no excuse to say, okay, I ran out of hooks. That is not
Okay, I really don't understand this, Marvin. You're going to have to explain it to me a little bit better, which I'm sure that if I have questions, some of our viewers will have questions also. So give me an example of, AuthorScale comes up with uh, a slideshow. When you say, you can refurbish that with a different point of view or different words, who's doing that? Is it me, the author, or is it AuthorScale who's doing that?
it's AuthorScale.
And do I have to direct it to do that, or does it just say, oh, here's a really neat scene, and here's 50,000 different ways it can be presented?
Maybe the best would be if I give you a quick, if I show you how it's done in the tool.
Okay.
Let me see if I can share the screen. And first I need to see. Where did it go? Okay, so let's do the following. I will share my screen
Okay.
here. Desktop one, share. Can you see my screen?
Yes, it says add a new
So
book.
yeah, it's add a new book. So here you would land when let me quickly stop sharing so I don't disclose any. We'll upload a book here. Okay, let me start sharing again. So I've uploaded a file. It's a book called Mr. Silver by Rachel Jonas, one of the authors we work with.
Okay.
Um, she has she has earned over $100,000 in her best month running slideshow accounts.
And
So
did you say per month?
in her best month, she earned over $100,000.
I think you've caught everybody's attention with that.
Yeah, those are some impressive numbers. So then you click here, you upload the book. It takes some time because it's scanning the entire book. There's some some pro tips. And essentially what's happening here is the system is reading the book, is understanding the genre of the book, understanding what makes the book compelling, figuring out what scenes are marketable, ranking those scenes and essentially figuring out which scenes to present to you. It's basically like giving a PA or a power reader or a beta reader your book and telling him or her to tell you which she thinks are the most marketable scenes, right?
Okay.
And yeah, any given book has only a handful of really, really good marketable scenes. I mean, there's more obviously, but if you rank them, you would very probably want to focus on the top 10 or 5%. So now it's loaded. We launched the workspace and we see here cards. Those cards are scenes essentially, where we see the chapter location, we see what is happening here, and we see a reason why the system thinks that it's a good scene, right? This scene embodies themes of lost and emotional connection, tapping into a universal experience of desire that many readers can relate to. And yeah, so here we see chapter 19, an intense confrontation reveals deep-seated emotions as Lexi lashes out, Sterling for perceived wrongs. Yeah, and then I mean I personally haven't read the book, but if you don't agree with those scenes, you can generate more scenes. I see that I am in a non-premium version, but
Oh,
that's fine.
okay.
Uh, so you can, if you become a paid customer, you can identify more scenes, and you can also tell it, like if you, for instance, know for a fact, hey, there is this scene in chapter 23 that I think will perform really good, and it's not there, you can just tell it, hey, please focus on chapter 23 on this particular scene. Then it will, and as soon as you have the scene cards, you can select, okay, I'm gonna go with actually the first one. And here, if you are a paid subscriber, you can choose how many slides it should output. Here it's defaulted to 5, and there's also advanced mode. But let's click generate slideshows. And this is what I mean by unlimited slides. So this click will generate, I don't know, maybe 5, but you can click the button 10 million times, right? You will see that maybe from time to time it starts getting a bit repetitive, but very rarely will you see a slideshow that is like the same, copied word for word or character for character. Here we see 3, right?
Okay.
And we have limited the experience for people that are just trying it out, right? So that's why we see 3 here, and I can click maybe one more time. When the air inside the truck becomes electric with anticipation, okay, under the dim glow, when a single kiss turns into an undesirable risk, a dance of passion that neither can ignore. I think that's kind of a good opening line.
Yeah,
So it
I think so.
would make me curious to, okay, what a single kiss. It's kind of deep, philosophic.
Uh-huh.
This wasn't in the plans, she thinks. So then you can refine it, right? You could click refine and give it feedback as if your PA would present that to you, right? When a single kiss turns into another risk at dance. This wasn't in the plans, she thinks, feeling gravity tug them closer with each heartbeat. The world melts away, leaving only 2 of them tangled in sheets of heated exploration. Yeah, I don't know what feedback we should give it. It can also be super simple as I don't know, improve the opening line, add emojis, and you can really give it whatever feedback. It's a bit hard to kind of, do it with a book that I don't know.
Mhm.
And here you will see it will do. When a kiss ignites a wildfire of desire. So it changed from yeah, it did some changes, turning
Okay,
everything.
yeah, I like that.
Put a heart, put a fire emoji here, right?
Huh?
So you can keep refining until you get to the level of something that is lives up to your expectations. You can also like edit the text yourself. And then this is not a finished slideshow yet because we need the visuals. So you would go to manage images, and you can either generate the images with AI, which is in some cases good because there's no copyrights. Basically, like you're not stealing somebody's. Like if a lot of authors go to Pinterest and just steal that and go viral and don't credit the artist. So the AI is a good way to circumvent that. You can upload your own background, or you can just go for stock images and say like kiss couple kissing, right? And then you search, and that's a stock image integration that we've built. So all of those are royalty free. You can use them without crediting the author. Load more. Yeah, this one looks kind of nice. Then I would apply this image to all slides, and here is the finished slideshow. Yeah.
Okay.
Then you save it, and this takes some time because it has to, yeah, it has to render each individual slide. And we're optimizing the process. I mean, this tool is super young. We're a couple months old, and there's a lot to improve still. But the basic functionality of doing that and being able to upload it to TikTok is just a huge time saver, right? So
So
here,
let me ask one question. Are you able to change the color of the words?
not yet, not
Not yet.
yet,
Okay.
but we are building in some basic yeah, editing features where you can change the color, and also like right now, if you want to move it down, you have to put kind of spaces, empty spaces in between. So just to kind of move in it, but
Okay.
we're not in business of building a Canva competitor, right? We just want we also don't want authors to start over optimizing the font and the color and everything. It's really about just hooking people with, like, as I said, rather output three of those than one where the color is
Right.
so,
And I probably wouldn't have even asked that question except you chose a black and white color and
yeah.
I mean picture and then it's black and white. I would think that with a color image, probably that text would maybe pop out a little bit more, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it was maybe unfortunate to take this one looks kind of Pinterest vibe. So right, this looks much better.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, that's an interesting thing, and it's very easy to make that change. So that's awesome. And then with this, you're saying it can be saved to TikTok, and then when I'm ready to post, I just go ahead and add some music to it and post it.
Exactly. So what would happen here is currently we only support TikTok, but we're working on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube integrations also. We need to still turn that into a video because Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts are only video, but we're also working on that. Right now, it is a slideshow that consists of images where you can click upload to TikTok, and here, yeah, I cannot showcase that. But if you're a paid subscriber, you simply connect as many TikTok accounts as you want, and there would be a field that pops up where you can write the description, the caption, the hashtags, and select the account you want to push it to, and then you click on publish, and then it's there. It literally shows up on your TikTok account, TikTok phone, and you can go there. You will find it in the system notifications. You open it up, you add a sound, and click publish, and it's done. Right?
Oh my goodness, that is absolutely amazing. And I heard you say something about a free account versus a paid account.
Yeah, so I mean, everything I'm showing here is I just created a new account because yeah, just to basically
Yeah.
showcase how it looks if somebody would land there for the first time. And this is what you can do without paying anything. You can play around, upload your book. If you're not happy, you can delete your book. You go to manage books and delete it here. So yeah, there is really no risk to try it out. And if you're happy with it, you can then yeah, I mean, you can already start using those slideshows, and then if you upgrade, you can, as I said, there's more features you can unlock, like telling the system what to focus on when identifying scenes, unlocking more, making a 35 slideshow, right? There is a trend that goes to longer slideshows, because imagine a reader here decides to spend time with the slideshow, then it's like,
Uh-huh.
okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if it's 35 and you actually manage to have people stick around until the 35th slide, then it's a lot of time spent on your post, which signals to the algorithm this might be a good post, which gives it more exposure, right? So
Uh-huh.
those are kind of that's the reason why longer slideshows are currently a trend. Yeah, then you can favorite it. You have your favorites tab. Um, I have to add here, what is free and what will always be free is here, doing everything from scratch, right? You can say, I want to do a 7 slideshow, create new slides, and you can, for authors that don't want to rely on, on hooks that the system has identified, that want to do everything themselves, it is still a time saver, because you can go here and you can write your book here, right? And save it, and then you can also do the same with manage images and find stock images here. And we're also working on an integration, because some authors in the industry, they have structured their hooks on a spreadsheet, and we'll work on an integration where you can just import the spreadsheet and you will see all of your slideshows here.
Wow, this is amazing. So a person can use AuthorScale for free as they start to learn it. Is there a number of times that they can use this for free before upgrading, or how does that work? Because I mean, some people are on a budget, and other people see the value of a tool and how expansive it can help their marketing, and
Yeah,
spend the money on tools that will increase their exposure. So you get all kinds of people out there, but especially I like the idea that you can start for free as you learn the program. So how does that work? How long will a person have to be learning that until they need to upgrade?
So, I mean, the manual slide builder you can use for free forever, but you have to write everything manually. Refine, does that work? Maybe you can even use Refine for free. I'm not sure. But if you want to have the AI slide builder, where it helps you with the scene identification and this, I think we limit it to 3 or there is only really a few generations that are allowed, and a few refinements. So, but as to your point about pricing and if it's worth, I mean, it's a marketing tool, right? The
Sure.
tool should pay for itself if you use it correctly. It's and here are the prices. So if you want to start out, there's our kind of monthly subscription is $14.99 per month, and here we put the return on invest. So based on data from authors that we work with, and yeah, that we know that are using slideshows for a living, you're very likely to make that investment back with just one slideshow hitting 10,000 views a year, right? So
Wow.
obviously you should use the tool to make money. The tool should help you make more money so you can pay for the tool. The tool should pay for itself if you have the right mindset, and if you really want to like make slideshows and organic TikTok accounts and reel accounts part of your promotional strategy. As you like, I recommend it to anyone. Like you're probably paying for your newsletter tool, right? You're probably paying, if you succeed a certain subscriber number, you're paying for whatever it is, MailChimp, MailerLite, you're paying for this, for the tool, right? Because you're making probably more money than you pay for the tool when you send a newsletter to one of your book releases. When you do Facebook ads, well, you're paying for the ads, but you will stop paying for the ads if the return on an ad spend is lower than what you spend, right? So with marketing tools, they're designed to help you make more money, which is why yeah, those numbers are actually super low, right? Super low. And as we add more features, as we add kind of turning the slideshows into videos, supporting more platforms, like those prices will go up. Because we know that the authors are making the money back if they use it correctly. If not, then they should not be paying for the tool. So, but as we say also here, as we add more features, our prices will rise, but everyone who locks in those prices right now, they will continue to pay those prices, right? And they will benefit from all the added features. But we've already gone up. Like it started at $9.99 when there was no kind of stock image integration, no AI image support. And we've gone up because we've added more features to just justify the added value.
Right. That's understandable. So with I look ahead and I say, gee whiz, lifetime access, $3.99, a one-time payment. So what does it mean when it says receive 1,000 design credits annually? What does that mean?
So design credits is, as I said here, like if you have this slideshow,
Mm-hmm.
let's take this one, uh, and you click on manage images.
Mm-hmm.
We went for stock image. Stock is free. Stock is free. But if you want
Okay.
to utilize AI, if you want to utilize AI for background generation, that costs, right? It has a cost for us. We pay to those different AI providers and the generative AI providers. We pay, so that has a cost. So we cannot offer unlimited image generations. Um, so if you click on generate now, if it works in the free version, I don't know, but seems like it's working. The system will now write the prompts. So first of all, it will read the slideshows.
Uh-huh.
Then it will understand why it's a good slideshow or which scene it is from. And then it will find something here, like you see what it did. When
Oh,
the
okay.
air, when the air inside the truck becomes electric with anticipation and the chemistry ignites. So there seems to be a romantic relationship happening in a truck, and that's what the AI tried to reflect here, right?
Okay.
And sometimes AI does some funny stuff. I don't know if these are two legs that are basically Siamese twins. So you can regenerate the background, and you see when regenerating the background the the prompt it came up with, right? So
Okay.
in AI, when you want to generate an image, you have to write a prompt, and it's not so easy. It's not just couple in a truck kissing. Like you have to be super descriptive about it, and you have to also define the style. So this is what the system did automatically. You can still change it, right? Here the prompt is create a hyper realistic image that depicting the intimate and charged atmosphere of a trust, blah, blah, blah. So you can either change it or just generate it again. Regenerations are free up to 5 times. And let's see what it does now. Yeah, I don't know. We can compare. We can do this one another time. And those images are unique. They're unique. There's no image on earth that looks exactly like this. When you choose stock images, chances are somebody else has used that stock image already, right? Chances
Okay.
are maybe for a music cover, maybe for a real estate ad. You don't know. People are free to use stock image, and people usually default to stock images that are for free for any sort of credit. So as I
Okay.
said in the beginning, like if you care about unique generated images that only you have. Maybe you had maybe with a certain style, right? Maybe you say, I don't know, you add at the end, add a pinkish tone to the image. Let's see if it does it. Maybe you care about your branding and you want everything to look somewhat pinkish. It didn't do it. Maybe because there's too much. Capture the essence. Let's just delete some of that stuff here. Uh, let's just see what it does with that. Okay, it still didn't do it. Add a pinkish.
Well, the one before that had kind of a pinkish blanket or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, well, what we're also working on is making this easier to change because you have to be almost an prompt expert to change the prompt. But we want to have an easy mode where you can say, make everything look a bit more pinkish. And then the system would regenerate the prompt. Try
right.
to understand and regenerate the prompt so you don't have to go here and
Okay. So when you talk about the 1,000 credits, you're talking about if you're generating images with AI, is that correct? Or are you
exactly.
talking about if you use any of those?
No. That's just AI images. Design credits. So those are basically 1,000 images, and each one you can regenerate up to 5 times. So it's 5,000 images if you choose this here.
Okay.
But you're actually raising an interesting point. This might confuse people more than it maybe adds value because you don't need that. You don't need AI images. You can use your own images or you can use stock images. And stock
Okay.
images are easiest to get started, right?
Okay. And
Nobody.
so one other question I have, um, is, initially all the slides had the same image with the text being different on each slide. Now, do
Mhm.
you recommend that that's how it goes, or do you recommend changing the images for each slide?
So that's a good question. So when you go here to manage images and you generate AI images, you can choose between one consistent background for all slides, which is most popular, or different backgrounds for each slide. Different backgrounds will obviously deduct more credits. You see here 5 credits because it's a
Oh,
five slideshow. And stock image is the same. You can choose, you can find something, case, I don't know, this here, and then you can apply it to all slides, or you can select just this slide and apply it to that slide, right?
okay.
And but what I do recommend is just go for one. That goes under over optimizing, right? So what you see a lot of authors do is just the same image, and the image should just support your slideshow, your text subtly, right? What's actually the most important is the opening line and the text, and those should just help you kind of bring more vibe or atmosphere to your slideshow. But you see, if you go to your genre's top 10, 15, 20 authors on Amazon and you look them up on TikTok, you will probably see that they most of them use just one image because
Okay.
it's just you would lose time if you have to like find, let's say you do a 35 slideshow and you want to find 35 images, you'd rather do another slideshow.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, I think that as an author, to us, it's more important to have somebody reading what the slides say rather than being distracted by what image is back there, as long as at some point it, like in that opening line, made sense. So it looks like an awesome tool to me. And how do people um how do people go to sign up for this?
Well, you Google AuthorScale, you will,
Others?
yeah, you will be here on this page.
Okay.
Uh, you click on login or try premium for free. You will be asked to create an account. And then the next step is upload a book. Or if you don't want to upload a book, you can continue without uploading a book, but then you will be only able to test then you will be only able to kind of do the manual slides,
Right.
right? I can show you. I mean, this is already an incognito tab, so it doesn't work. But yeah, it's as easy. Just go authorscale.com. There you are, button in the fat button in the middle. Click it, sign up, try it out. If you're convinced, test it for a month. If you don't make the money back, join the Discord, ask why, maybe you get some feedback from other authors.
Oh,
Or yeah, if slideshows is not for you, then no hard feelings, right?
okay. No, this looks absolutely amazing, and definitely I think that this is something that most authors should consider. And what advice would you have for newer authors who maybe are in the process of writing their first book or have just published their first book and haven't really gotten out there yet? Um, is this something that you feel they should be looking at even before having published a first book?
I mean, the more you start learning about marketing, the more you start incorporating marketing aspects in your book, right? Which when it comes to picking scenes, you don't already know, okay, I've written the book with some level of marketing in mind, so I know the in chapter 3 is a great hook. Or usually you will find a great hook in the first chapter, because on Amazon there's the look inside feature
Mhm.
where a lot of readers go and just read the sample, and obviously needs to be a good sample to make them like ending at a cliffhanger to make them continue reading. So the more you learn about marketing while writing your first book, I think it has advantages, yeah. But if you're really a debut author and just written your first book, probably there's enough challenges in getting that first book over the finishing line, publishing it. And yeah, you rarely see an author succeed with her or his debut book, right? It's really like get the book out, launch it, do some mistakes, fail fast, and then do it over again and keep
Yeah.
writing more books, right?
Well, and you make a very good point there, Marvin. And yet, it seems to me every time I interview somebody for my summit about marketing, one of the first things they say is even if you don't have a book published yet, you need to start gathering potential fans, with an email newsletter or something. So, I mean, I can see how even an unpublished author, if they are in the final stages of revisions, would probably benefit from
Yeah, I mean, not
uploading and getting something started so that buzz is created before the launch even.
that's true, and not even in the final stages of writing. Like, there are a few authors, and one particular comes to mind, who her name is Skylar Mason, who wrote books based on TikToks that went viral, right? So even like, because slideshows are a great way to test the hook, like just test it out, write a hook, put it out there. People will ask, is this a book? And if you have all of a sudden 200 people commenting, and is this a book? Like, where can I find it? You'll be like, okay, maybe I should write the book, right? So, and that can also happen. So yeah, I would agree with that. So the more you learn about marketing, but also you don't need to study everything, because learning about marketing can be super, like you can go down a rabbit hole, and all of a sudden you find yourself learning about, like performance marketing and ad optimization and pay-per-click and Amazon ads and how do bidding systems work. And then, I mean, it can be quite complex, right? Just
It can be, and especially for somebody starting out, using an organic tool such as this would be for organic reach makes a lot more sense. Having one payment like that, $3.99 for lifetime, that's a phenomenal value.
yeah.
Because rarely does somebody write one book and say I'm done.
Yeah.
you know and even if you're starting out saying, okay, this is the first book, you figure there's going to be number 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, and to be able to use it for all of those and get organic reach on all of those is absolutely amazing. So I would very definitely encourage our authors to check it out, try the free, feel it a little bit, see how it works for them, and then dive in with both feet.
I agree with that. If anyone is serious about their author career, like slideshows have to be a part of it. And then you will sooner or later stumble upon our tool, because it's currently the only and the first tool in the space. And yeah, I mean, rather sign up now and lock in the current prices than waiting until we have more features and it's more expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so AuthorScale.com. Marvin, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up this session of Marketing Romance?
No, I'm good. Thanks a lot for the time, Paula, and appreciate having me.